Okay, so this next piece that I'm gonna make, I am going to go ahead and pull a 3mm O-ring onto a 7.4mm O-ring. And I'm gonna do that with 3 of each color. So you can see I've already been working on my components over here. And this, I'm using these white Miyuki spacer beads that are basically a triangle shape. But we can also use a Miyuki spacer bead that is just round. And we can also use Toho beads in this, okay? So the options are out there for you. I used white and black because I wanted it to complement silver. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to put these little triangles together. So the thing I like about this particular pattern is that the inside jump ring and all of these component jump rings are the same size. I'm using 20 gauge 5/32. And then on the very outside, I've got some 20 gauge 7/64, 6 of them set aside over here. So we'll be using this in a little bit. But let me just show you with this last piece how to put this together. I'm gonna pick up one bead. I decided to do the white for you so you could see this better. So do one bead, one O-ring. I put in one side of the O-ring and then I basically fold it in half and push the other side of this 7.4mm O-ring onto here so you can see that there's 2 sides on there. I'm gonna push this all the way to the top, making sure I get a really good grip up here, because as I cram the stuff on, I don't want to have to readjust my pliers on my dominant hand. So one more bead, another O-ring that's folded in half. Keep cramming it all over to one side. One more bead, that's our 3rd bead, so that's our final bead. And then our final O-ring, folded in half. And then basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the table to hold this in place for myself so that I can pick up my other pair of pliers and come in and get this closed. Okay, so take your time closing that. Make sure it closes nicely. And then we're gonna spread this all out, okay? So that's what each of these that you see over here is just this little triangle. And if you had any of your little 3mm O-rings that weren't quite in the center, sometimes at this point you can just pull them a little bit and get everything straightened out for yourself. And then you see I have 6 colors here, and I have one last jump ring. So I used 6 jump rings to make these components with. And then I've got one more 20 gauge 5/32 in the middle here. And I'm just gonna basically string all these on. So each one of these is gonna be put on with one of the 3mm O-rings. Doesn't matter which one, because you see all 3 sides are the same thing. And we're just gonna pass this jump ring through that 3mm O-ring. I'm gonna push this all the way up to the top. So that's red, and then orange. And see how I let the red push down and the orange push up? This is so that the triangle isn't spreading this out while I'm trying to get all 6 of these on. It's a good way to be able to crush them all over to one side. Okay, red, orange, yellow, green. Oh, the green's gonna go on top. Blue. And purple. And you can see we've got plenty of room left on this, so this jump ring is more than large enough to accommodate what you're doing. Okay. We're just gonna close that the same way as when we were making our components. This just fits a little bit better. Okay, and I'm gonna spread these out. And now I'm gonna take my 20 gauge 7/64 jump rings that I pre-opened. You could probably use 20 gauge 3/32 for this. So use what you have on hand. It just needs to be nice and small. And you can see it's gonna stick out a little bit on the outside, but I didn't want that to be the hero. I didn't want to put beads on the outside and have this end up looking like a flower or a snowflake or something. I wanted to get this nice geometric shape with this. And all we're gonna do with these is I'm gonna pick up my first jump ring and I'm gonna connect the red and the orange first. And again, I'm gonna pass through this outside 3mm O-ring that's closest to the orange. Okay, you can see I'm in between there now. And then now I pick up this bead and this is gonna make it sit on the inside. And then I'm gonna pass through the orange 3mm O-ring that's beside it. And then we'll close the jump ring. Okay. And that is that one connection, but see how the bead is sitting inside instead of being out here and adding to the shape of it. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the next one. Now I'm gonna go through the orange and yellow. So first I pass through the orange, then I'm gonna pick up a bead, and then I'm gonna pass through the yellow 3mm O-ring that's sitting next to it. Okay, and that's all we're gonna do all the way around until we'll end up with this. Okay, so you can see how these, putting the bead on the inside prevents it from adding to the outside of this shape and gives you this really cute little hexagon, which will just hook an ear wire to and be all set. And I'll let you have a little bit closer look at the black. And you can see that one's really pretty too. So a little bit straighter beads. And then of course, you know, I could have used the Toho beads, which come in some beautiful metallics, gunmetal and gold and, you know, all sorts of different finishes in that. So there's a lot of choices for the beads that you use, but notice that these are very skinny and wide beads. So you need to be careful not to use like a size 8 bead or something like that. You won't be able to fit all these components onto here. Okay, so that is the rainbow earring or pendant.